Hey everyone and welcome to Storytime. My name is Jake and today we are going to be looking at the subreddit r/choosingbeggars. So sit back, relax and enjoy some funny Reddit stories. I don't want your used stuff. Where is the good stuff? So I live in the middle of nowhere. My mum called and said the church down the street was having a yard sale and we should check it out. Turns out it was not a yard sale. Everything was free. I asked if they were at least requiring a donation, and they said since the town is really low income, they just want to give stuff away and help out. Neat. They had beautiful dishes, tea sets, toys, books, lots of clothes, etc. This was its second day, so a lot of stuff was already gone. I got 2 cookbooks, a brand new curling iron, some toys my daughter picked out, and a shirt and cardigan. I told them I would be back soon with some cash. I go to the gas station, pull out some cash and go back to the church. There is a chick screaming at the 2 old ladies holding the giveaway. "Where is your good stuff? I don't need used clothes." The old women were trying to say they were just trying to give back to the community by giving away donations they had received. "You're just trying to push used rubbish on me. I know you have stuff in the back." I really had to say something and asked if there was a problem. Did I really have to call the cops because someone was harassing the church because their free stuff wasn't to their standards? They left in a huff, and I felt really bad for the 2 women. Who knows what kind of people they had dealt with the past couple of days. That is like the definition of the worst kind of choosing beggar. You're literally getting free stuff and you expect it to be better. Just no. "It's not fair, you're making me pay. I'm family." My cousin just turned 17 and has a job. Now, he was looking for an Xbox One a few months ago, and I had offered selling him my station. But he denied because he wanted the newer system and not my old used system. He wanted the Xbox One X and not my regular Xbox One. So my Xbox stays at my parents' house until I can sell it along with all my games. My parents invited my brother, myself, my aunt, uncle and cousins over, and my cousin was looking through my games. He noticed I had Black Ops 3, COD WW2, Infinite Warfare and Overwatch, and he was so happy. He began asking me if he could have them. I told him he could borrow them, but I'd prefer if he bought them off me. I was selling them for $25 a game and told him if he wanted them to give me the cash. Then it went down. "What? You're expecting me to pay for them? We're cousins. Just give me them." No, I understand we're cousins, but I bought all of these games and played them a lot. I'm charging you half of what I paid for them, maybe between $50 to $60 a game, so that's why I'm selling them for $25 each. You can pay for them or you can go buy them yourself. "I don't have the money on me. If I take these, I can pay you the next time I see you." Me, dang well knowing he won't. "No, I will give you the games when you pay me for them." That was it, for now. The night went on, and as my family was leaving, I noticed the 4 games were gone. I asked my brother if he put them away, and he told me no. And I saw my cousin trying to leave in a hurry. "Hey, have you seen those games I showed you earlier?" "No." "Well, they're gone, and my bro doesn't know where they are." "Huh? That's weird. Well, I should get going." And I kid you not, one of the games falls out from under his hoodie, just out the bottom. He looked embarrassed before handing me over all my games. "You're never allowed to buy the game off me now. You just tried to steal these." That's not fair. We are cousins. You shouldn't charge me for the games. Just give them to me since we're family." His parents eventually made him apologize and said he was grounded from his system for a while, and he was ticked at me. Oh, thank you so much. I'm so glad that last sentence happened. His parents made him apologize and grounded him. Actual good parents, guys. Wow. Crazy Karen at a Starbucks. This just happened at the Starbucks I'm still sitting at. I'm a regular customer at Starbucks in my town, and for reference, I was just sitting at a table watching this happen. So a woman walks up to the counter with her drink, a dragon fruit iced tea with lemonade in it, and calls over the barista. "Hi sir, could you please remake this drink?" Yeah, sure. What was the problem with it?" "It made me feel sick. There's something wrong with your lemonade. Remake it right now." "Okay, no problem, ma'am." So he goes to remake the drink and rinses the cup, cap, and straw with water. He hands her back the cap and straw, and she goes, "Oh, it's okay. You can just use another cup and stuff if you have it, don't you?" So this guy uses another cup to make the drink. She takes it back and then starts getting mad. "Did you use the same lemonade from the picture?" "Yes, ma'am. That's the lemonade we use for everyone." "Can't you just get the concentrate and put it in my drink?" "For sure." So he makes the drink for the third time, with a third cup, per request of the woman, and hands it back to her. She finally seems happy and walks back to her table. You'd think that's it, but oh no, this woman just doesn't seem to ever be happy. She comes up to the counter and calls the barista over. I kid you not, these are her exact words. "Can you have someone else make this for me? You must be new here and making it wrong. I'm a regular, so I feel like I should be treated better than this." "Actually, I've been here for a little over a year and I've never seen you before. If you need me to, I can make the drink for you again." The woman throws the cup at the barista, cusses him out, and leaves the store in a rage. At this point, I feel so bad for the barista that I go over and help him clean up the mess she made. So that was the craziest Starbucks experience I just had. I feel so bad for that barista guy. Like, he made her drink 3 times and then offered to make it a 4th time just to get it thrown on him. Like, ugh. Literal beggar threw the food I gave him on the ground. I work part-time at a coffee house/bakery in my hometown, and we love our community and make it our mission to serve our community. We are also just a few blocks away from the most ghetto part of town. I also work in social services and have for the past couple of years. Youth pastor, group home manager, and case manager. One day this summer, a couple came into the cafe and just said they were getting out of the heat. I asked how they were doing, and the husband told me they were homeless, and that his wife was pregnant. They didn't really ask for anything, but I got the vibe he was about to. I asked if he knew where the rescue mission was. This is always my go-to because their answer tells me a lot about them. He said that they were denied at the rescue mission for not having the right papers. This usually points to a couple of possibilities. Number 1, they don't want to sober up. The mission doesn't let anyone that's not sober stay at the mission, but they do have a warming room where people can sober up and have shelter. Number 2, they don't want a background check or they have warrants out. The mission can't house anyone who has an active warrant because the mission would get into trouble. And number 3, they're not actually in need. They are just claiming to be homeless to try and take money. Anyways, this information tells me how I'm going to help them. I decided to offer them a water and see what happens. They surprisingly left without asking for money, until they came in the next evening during a dinner rush and asked for me. I came out to talk to them. He was extremely drunk. Like, when he talked, the alcohol smell was overwhelming. His wife was also not sober. She was sitting and totally vacant, like dead-eyed. The things people use is really bad in my town, but she was so down. It must have been something else. He asked me for money, and he reiterated that his wife was pregnant and that they were homeless, this time adding that they were starving and worried about the baby. I said, we have something for you, and I went to our biscuit stash. We are a bakery, we make biscuits every day, and we don't sell day-old biscuits. We donate them to the mission, and they use them for biscuits and gravy. So I grabbed 8 biscuits, and these are pretty large biscuits. Even better, I grabbed the good stuff. Our famous bacon, herb, and cheese biscuits. I grabbed those because they are super filling and real good just by themselves. Perfect for starving homeless people. I gave him his meals and he appeared to be surprisingly thankful, and he shook my hand and said God bless. His wife didn't seem to care and still looked really out of it. They walked out of the store. About 10 minutes later, someone walked in and told me that there was a bag of biscuits on the ground in the lawn outside of the store. This confirms that they just want money for booze or other stuff. But hey, for the sake of taking care of the baby, I'm glad I erred on the side of grace. I always get really confused when people talk about biscuits in this way, because in England a biscuit is, I'm pretty sure, a cookie or just anything like that. It's sweet, it's never savory. So this just happened to me. Sorry for no pictures, but this was face to face. I'm selling my iPhone X on Craigslist, and this guy emailed me saying he wanted it and said he would buy it right now, so I gave him my number and told him to call me. He calls me and said, "I'll give you $200 if you bring it down to this town that is 30 minutes away." I said I can't, and said I wouldn't deliver, and on top of that, the price is $350. We went back and forth, and he decided to pay $300, and he would drive here and he was on his way now. An hour goes by, so I call him, and he said, "Can't you just come here?" Again, back and forth until he decides to come for $275. 45 minutes later, he shows up and I give him the phone to check out. He then hands me $200 and says, "That's all I have. I got a ticket on the way here and that's going to cost me $100. I said, in nicer words, "That's not my problem, and you didn't have to pay the ticket immediately, so that means you only came with $200. I took the phone back, and then he calls me a scumbag for making him drive all the way here for nothing, and speeds off. Wait, this guy is selling an iPhone X for only $300? Isn't that like a really good deal? A man knocked on my car window and told me he was hungry, so I offered him food. Stopped on the side of the road downtown, my car was approached by 2 men who claimed they were cold and hungry. I prefer not to give cash and instead offered to purchase them a meal in the local area. They became irritated and insisted upon cash so they could get the food they want and not have it chosen for them by a stranger. They told me that it's cash or nothing because they want to choose a meal they'd enjoy. I again said that I'm happy to buy a meal but will not give cash, and they flipped me off and walked away. At least come up with a better fake reason for wanting cash than just acting picky. Yeah, I feel like that's a really bad excuse, like, "Oh, I want to pick something else." No, I can pick something for you, I'll just go with you. No, it's cash or nothing. Like, that's pretty obvious, dude. Choosy Beggar University. I am a physician and recently finished my training and moved back to my hometown. Once here, the local university reached out to me about being the team physician for all of their athletic departments: football, baseball, soccer, tennis, wrestling, lacrosse, track and field, etc. I was very interested in the prospect of working with student athletes, as I enjoy sports medicine, so I agreed to meet with the administration. During the meeting, they took me on tour of their $1 million campus and their new athletic buildings, which had just been built for about $30 million. They showed me all of their new equipment they had in the physical therapy department. No kidding, they had an $80,000 treadmill. At the end of all of this, they sat me down and talked about my responsibilities. I would be the physician of 800 athletes. I would have to sign off on any physical therapy forms. I would have to review concussion procedures and training regimes. I would have to be available 24/7 for emergencies. I would have to come to all home games. I would have to pay for admission, to be present in case of injury. I would also have to come to 4 meetings per month to meet with department heads. It was a lot, and would be a significant use of my time, but I was willing to consider it. But then I asked about compensation. I kid you not, the guy told me, "Oh, we would pay you in patience. Don't you want to help people?" They want a full-fledged physician at their beck and call at all hours of the day and night for free. When I asked them, "What do you think is fair compensation for my services?" they told me I could use the campus gym, whenever you feel like it. I want to help people, but I also want to feed my family and pay off my $300,000 debt. So I made it very clear to them that I would not be taking on such a massive responsibility with no compensation. Then they tried to pull the whole, "We are a Christian college, and this would be a good way to serve the Lord" bit, and I shut it down because that is some manipulative BS. I explained to the athletic director that a job equals work plus pay, and that they had only offered me more work in addition to my practice. I told them if he got a serious offer together, he could call me to discuss it, but otherwise I wouldn't be working under them in these conditions. 1 week later, they called back and offered to let me come to all the games for free. I said no and asked them to not call me again. If my time, training, and abilities are worth $0 to them, then I will give them $0 worth of my attention. If you don't value your own time, nobody else will. Okay, let me get this straight. They can afford a $30 million training facilities or whatever, and an $80,000 treadmill. Like, seriously, can you not just run? But they can't afford to pay a full-time physician. Why? Hey everyone, I hope you all had a really good day and that you enjoyed that video. If you want to check out some other videos, then click on screen right now, or check out the playlist down below. If you enjoyed that video, then please do leave a like, and if you want to submit your own stories, then you can do so by joining the Discord in the top link in the description. But thank you so much for watching, and I will see you very soon.